It is worth remembering, as Lisa Epignancy says in her The Heart of Simone de Beauvoir, an article, that this term, the other, coined by de Beauvoir, and the second sex served as the source of those discourses of the other, which shaped the identity and Orientalist politics of the 1980s and 1990s. In his groundbreaking book Orientalism, for example, Edward Said clearly refers to Beauvoir's notion to describe how Western thinkers and writers have always seen the East as the primitive, weak, and feminine other, juxtaposed with the civilized, the strong, and masculine West. The notion taken from Beauvoir, comparing women to other minorities like Negroes, Jews, or even proletarians. She argues, unlike these groups, women's subjugation to men isn't a result of historical event or social change. It has always been there. Women's situation is much worse, as legislators, priests, philosophers, writers, and scientists have striven to show that the subordinate position is willed in heaven and advantageous on earth. In a lengthened analysis of biological and scientific studies of human beings, males and females, and animals, Beauvoir asserts the negative, incorrect concept adopted by many philosophers that even by nature, a female is the other. According to Hegel, for example, the two sexes were of necessity different, the one active, the other passive, and of course, the female would be the passive one, Beauvoir says. Concerning psychoanalysis, Beauvoir criticizes Freud's view, which she believes is based upon a masculine model, arguing that if it is true that woman envies man, his penis, and wishes to castrate him, she may do that only if she feels her femininity a mutilation. And then it is a symbol of all the privileges of manhood that she wishes to appropriate the male organ. Similarly, in another chapter, Beauvoir explores the point of view of historical materialism, showing that although the socialist theory has given women a chance to get rid of the oppression they had long undergone, she still is not convinced of Engel's attempt to reduce antagonism of the sexes to class struggle, nor does she accept regarding woman simply as a worker, or even bringing the sexual instinct under a code of regulations. Consequently, Beauvoir rejects, for the same reasons, both the sexual monism of Freud and the economic monism of Engels. Now, what about women and literature according to Beauvoir? According to women's image in literature, Beauvoir believes that literature always fails in attempting to portray mysterious women. Under the influence of the mysterious image fabricated about women in reality and in some theories, novelists have usually tried to show women as strange, enigmatic figures. Such images or myths are to Beauvoir the production of patriarchal society for purposes of justification, no more nor less. For Beauvoir, to see woman equally as a human being doesn't necessarily impoverish man's experience, doesn't make her less romantic, or destroy the dramatic relationship between the sexes. She says it is not to deny the significance authentically revealed to man through the feminine reality. It is not to do away with poetry, love, adventure, happiness, dreaming. It's simply to ask that behavior, sentiment, passion be founded upon the truth. In this respect, she attacks those who think that modern liberated women are not women at all, because to be a true woman she has to be the other, as patriarchy wants her to be. Let's now trace the shocking similarities between the second sex and Kate Millett's sexual politics. A close look at Millett's sexual politics shows that even the divisions and subtitles of the book, chapter 2, take for example, are in more than one way similar to those in the second sex, with some additions such as ideology, sociology, and class. In her attempt to prove that the relation of the sexes is a political one, Millett takes races, castes, and classes as examples of how relationships are power structured and how one group is controlled by another. Her discourse is not, in fact, much different from Beauvoir's comparison between the sexes and the blacks or the Jews. Again, like Beauvoir, Millett criticizes theories that consider biological differences and physical strength naturally lead to man's supremacy, arguing that the point lies in the acceptance of a value system which is not biological. She adds, in the chronology and genetics afford no definite evidence of determining mental emotional differences, which even raises questions as to the validity and permanence of psychosexual identity. To Millett, this identity is therefore postnatal and learned. In other words, it is the result of socialization and the conditioning of early childhood. Isn't this the core of the second sex, that one is not born a woman? Similar to Beauvoir's view of the role of religions in reinforcing patriarchy, referring to St. Augustine's writings, the Jews' prayers, and others, Millett, at the same level, discusses the Catholic precept that father is the head of the family, or Judaism's delegation of a quasi-priestly authority to the male parent. In addition, Millett criticizes the courtly and romantic love which had granted characteristics on women such as virtues and confined them within narrow spheres of behavior, while Beauvoir contends that the times that have most sincerely treasured women are not the period of feudal chivalry, nor yet the gallant 19th century. In another striking similarity to the second sex, we read in Sexual Politics that patriarchal legal system in depriving women control over their bodies drive them to illegal abortions, a view that was considered scandalous when Beauvoir wrote it 20 years earlier. It is needless to say that Millett's discussion of what she calls a fear of the otherness of woman is clearly Beauvoir's innovative term. Even Millett's discussion of Freud and his theory of castration echoes Beauvoir's detailed analysis and the criticism of psychoanalyst view towards women. Millett's discussion that the uneasiness and disgust female genitals arouse in patriarchal societies is attested through religious, cultural, and literary proscription is just a part of Beauvoir's lengthy analysis of the difference between myth and reality concerning the feminine body.